I made some Reagan vlogs before, mostly movie previews. You could say they don't count. I recently decided to give movie ranking a shot. Rambo 4 is 10 years old now. I watched it last night. I'm going to rank the Rambo movies from worst to best. Let's dive in. Coming in at number 4 is Rambo 3. It's not bad, it's the weakest. Rambo travels to Afghanistan to rescue his friend Colonel Trotman from the Russians. Rambo 3 is definitely an 80s movie. It's goofy. Rambo is a superhero. You can't easily hurt him. Plus, he runs around shirtless like in the last movie. Rambo 3 is definitely dated because Rambo joins forces with the Mujahideen in their fight against the Russians. The world dramatically changed after the Cold War ended, and of course after 9/11. After Rambo 4 came out, people speculated if Rambo 5 will see Rambo fighting the Taliban. Rambo 3 has some one-liners. They were lame, they were forced. I guess I chuckled a couple times. If I remember correctly, the director wanted these one-liners so Rambo will be humanized. Coming in at number 3 is Rambo 2, which is better than Rambo First Blood Part 2. Rambo travels to Vietnam to recon a prison camp, and he decides to rescue the prisoners. Rambo has an Asian girlfriend named Cho. She's bland. She has a famous line, "You're not expendable, Rambo." I think Rambo's expendable story foreshadows The Expendables. It's a fun movie. Rambo 2 is an 80s time capsule. It was made during the Reagan era, plus it was heavily spoofed. I watched the Hot Shots movies a few months ago. They're so hilarious. George P. Cosmatos directed Rambo 2 and Cobra, but there's a rumor Stallone actually ghost directed Rambo 2. That made me think about the Expendables franchise. He directed the first movie. Did he actually ghost direct or ghost produce the sequels? Coming in at number 2 is Rambo. John Rambo was the original title. Oddly enough, it's still called John Rambo in some countries like France and Germany. Stallone wrote and directed this movie. Someone else was hired, but he left due to creative differences. Rambo and a group of mercenaries has to rescue Christian missionaries from the Burmese army, which I think partially influenced The Expendables. Maybe I'll rank these movies eventually. Rambo 4 is bleak. It has no funny one-liners. It's a brutal war movie. It makes Saving Private Ryan look like cheesecake. Stallone chose Burma because everyone ignored it. This movie has character development. It has optimism, pessimism, and nihilism. The missionaries are optimistic. They think they can change the world. Rambo is pessimistic because he was damaged by the war, plus his own government betrayed him. This may sound silly. Nihilism reminds me of The Big Lebowski.
It's down there somewhere. Let me take another look.
Rambo's a beast. He lived in the jungle far too long. He literally killed some guy by tearing out his throat. Like, damn. That reminds me of Collateral Damage. Arnold Schwarzenegger literally bites some guy's ear off and spits it onto the floor. The Canadian rating system is seriously screwed up. They're so inconsistent. All of the Rambo movies are 18A. Only Rambo 4 deserves that rating. Oddly enough, First Blood is 14A on the DVD and presumably the VHS.
Is that right?
Coming in at number 1 is First Blood. It's unique, it's an action classic. I can think of one other movie where the cops are the villains. The Steven Seagal movie Exit Wounds. It came out in 2001. Anyway, John Rambo visits a small town, he gets arrested, the cops mistreat him, so he escapes. Brian Someone plays Captain Will Tezel. He isn't a generic villain, he's a tough cop who opposed the war. He initially treated Rambo with kindness, but he refused to leave. It's probably worth mentioning David Caruso, Horatio Caine, played one of the other cops, Lester. Troutman arrives in hope to convince Rambo to surrender. Kirk Douglas originally played him, but he left because he felt Rambo should die. He actually left during production. I watched part of this year's Golden Globes. Kirk is still alive. He's 101 years old. Rambo is known as a killing machine. However, he doesn't kill anyone here. One cop dies because he was careless. He fell out of a chopper. So yeah, this movie isn't about a huge body count or how many things you can blow up in an hour and a half. It's about suspense. Editing can truly make or break a film. According to Stallone in the Inferno documentary, First Blood was originally 3 hours long and Rambo talked more. Maybe there were a couple more issues. Stallone hated that cut. He actually vomited. He wanted to buy the movie so he could take that cut and burn it. Let's quickly talk about Rambo 5. Back in 2011, Stallone announced an unusual premise. Rambo has to hunt down a genetically engineered creature that escaped from a lab. I know, weird. Everyone was skeptical. Nobody liked it. That was based on some novel called The Hunter. Thanks, as always, for watching, guys. My Twitter link is down below. How will you rank the Rambo movies? Are you disappointed Rambo 5 is dead? Stay tuned for my Thor ranking vlog. I'll talk to you later. Alrighty then.